All right. Good morning. Another day getting home late. So this is when it's going to start. I'm supposed to start at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. But you know what? I do my best. I got here really late this morning. We were slow getting out of the old grind this morning. So poof, here I am. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the show. An article caught my eye early this morning that I hadn't seen. Apparently it was trending yesterday, talking about us vloggers and grifters on the internets, particularly in reference to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which I didn't really cover, right? I kind of left myself out of that show, that shit show, although I started watching it about halfway through because there was one particular guy that really shut up music. One particular guy that I just saw his testimony and then I'm like, oh, I was hooked. I was really hooked. So anyway, we're gonna talk a little bit about that this morning, and there's a couple things trending that I was kind of surprised about too. So that's what the show's gonna be about today. That's why it's called Vloggers, quote unquote, and we'll get into that right after the intro. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
All right, let's stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet, and welcome to the P-Dog Night channel on this Thursday, FDG Thursday, the 9th of June, 2021. And no, I do not need to calibrate my sundial, James. Smart ass. Anyway, welcome to the show. I am here, ready to go now that I've finally made it home, and I'm glad you're here too. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into today. So, before I do that though, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the quick good morning because I got to get caught up here. First in the chat today was our friend Attack Alpaca. Who gets the bell? Also, good morning, Rotten Corpse. Simon Wolfwood, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
There's a little delayed. Good morning, Ty Alexander, Aaron Meredith, Mike Savage, Blarg. Good morning, Random American, James Golly. Good morning, one and all. Also, good morning, Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Maddie's in the house. Also, good morning to Boneheaded Dumbass. I always laugh when I say that name because I just don't want to call you a boneheaded dumbass. But anyway, Pale Riders in the house. What's up? Nice to see you back. Also, good morning, Somnambule Nation. Trippy Liberty. What's up, Trip? I haven't seen you in a while. We got to get in one of those spaces again one of these days and maybe chat with JR or something. Anyway, also, Man Squatch, Rikash Bringer. I'm trying to figure out how to say that. Recash Bringer, individual providing thoughtful entertainment commentary to the world's events and find success doing it. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Yeah, it's good. It's an interesting thing going on. Also, good morning, Zan Wild. Nice to see you. So, is that everybody? Did I miss anybody? I hope not. People are slowly rolling in. Please, what you should do right now, though, if you already know you like this show, just hit the like button now. It saves you time. It doesn't have to think about it much longer. And, so, and then also share the stream out before, during, after the stream, because that's how we grow. And we're in the middle of Project 10,000, which is going slowly but surely. But, sometimes I'll have to get some guests on here and maybe we'll add to the pile of people who you can collaborate with within the chat. So anyway, and then also if you want to sponsor the show, pdognight.live or YouTube Super Chats or whatever you want to do. There's some other stuff you can do down in the description. However you'd like to do that, that's fine. All right, let's get into, since this on Thursday we like to, Rick Ash Bringer. Oh, Okay, I will know that for next time. Rick Ashbringer. Because it looks like recash bringer, like you're gonna bring me some cash, but it has some re to it. But anyway, all right, Rick, thank you for letting me know. Works for my gaming friends. Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Oh, why is this doing this again? You know what happened? I bet you it is. This really drives me nuts when this happens. The video quality is down again because they did another update on Streamlabs, and every time it resets my settings. Anyway, I will try to look as good as possible. Wow, this is not allowing me. You can't even go above 360p. That's terrible. Well, sorry folks, I'm not as beautiful as I normally am in the stream today, and I can't fix it without closing the stream. So anyway, let's talk about what's trending on Twitter right now, because there's a couple things that I noticed. Oh, someone sent me a DM. What's my DM here? Oh, what did you send me here, Maddie? Oh, let's see. Starting June 27th, Monday to Friday, radiation, Monday chemo. Oh, Maddie, I hope everything's going well with that. Wow. This will last 5 weeks, 5 days on, 2 days off. Oh man, I hope I'm praying for you, Maddie, and I hope things get better. Okay, thanks for sending me that. And also thanks for the people who've retweeted the stream: Simon Wolfwood, Rotten Corpse, Somnambull Nation, and Maddie. Also tweeted out the show, I think. Well, okay, I see Maddie did, and Somnambull Nation retweeted the show. There we go. So thank you for doing that. I greatly appreciate it. There's some things trending on Twitter that, one in particular, that annoys the ever-living crap out of me. And that would be Paul Pelosi's trending on Twitter. Now, if you don't remember, I don't even know how long ago it was. Was it even a week ago? I don't think it was even a week ago. It was like a few days ago. Paul Pelosi, if you know who that is. Hello, Keebler, by the way. Good morning, DI Freighter Watcher. Paul Pelosi, who is the head of the Pelosi family, I guess. Nancy Pelosi's husband. Yes, that's him. He got stopped. Apparently, he had an accident. And he was, in this accident, he just happened to be under the influence of alcohol, as in he was drunk. And he got arrested briefly, apparently. And what's interesting is, as of today, now he's trending on Twitter right now because apparently they've already dropped the charges. Someone here named Sean Joseph says DUR charges against Paul Pelosi have been dropped. Also mentioned that 2,300 children killed by drunk drivers since 2001, or between 2001 and 2010. 173 people, kids and adults, killed by AR-15s 2007 to 2017. Will Congress take his car away? That's an interesting point. So here's the story. Oh, it's not even showing up. Good God. Let's fix that. There we go. Here's the story from Reuters. Drunk driving crash. Oh, this is the story about drunk driving crashes involving kids by state. Okay, that's not even the story. And lots of people are not happy about this. It's not, head of the crime family, known as Pelosini. Good morning, Duck and Felonies, by the way. DUI charges against Paul Pelosi were dropped, despite the fact that drunk driving kills more children than AR-15s. A lot of people are mentioning that fact. I want just the story. And by the way, this is not the first time Paul Pelosi's had a problem with this issue. This is interesting. Here's a story. Here's an article that someone put up on the internet. Oh, wait, where's the picture? That's not it. What happened there? That's not what I was... Here, this picture right here. This is what I wanted to show you. Maybe it'll show up on my screen. My computer moves really slow sometimes when I'm having fun here. So, youth killed in crash. Why isn't this not showing up? There we go. Neck brace blamed. A 19-year-old San Francisco youth died in an overturned sports car south of here early yesterday, probably strangled by the brace he wore to support a neck fracture from a swimming mishap. David John Pelosi, 19, 20, 32, 39, Webster, whatever, son of John Pelosi, a wholesale druggist, was trapped under the light car driven by his brother when it flipped over on Skyline Highway, a mile north of Crystal Springs Dam, at 2:40 p.m. Now, this happened way back when, and what was kind of left out of that is that he was driving recklessly, he was speeding, and he may have been drunk. And he killed his brother, which is unfortunate. I mean, that's a sad family happening, right? I mean, I can't, that's something happened a long time ago, but you just got to remember this has happened, right? And yet, so now a lot of people are upset about this. Not Kenny Rogers says, Paul Pelosi, drunk driving charges dropped. Hunter Biden caught with illegal firearms, not investigated. Names of billionaires who visited Epstein's island full of underage sex slaves. Redacted. But then you tell me this guy is the biggest threat facing the country today. Well, at least he killed another Pelosi. Ouch! Ow! Ow! I'm just going to, damn, AD. That's rough. So if you see an old fart driving a Porsche, get the hell out of the way. If he kills you, you'll be charged with obstruction of a crime family's boss. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. Anyway, so needless to say, this has got people very, very shook and upset. Urgent, call DA Haley's office and demand Paul Pelosi arrest recited and mugshot made public. Do it for Nick Nolte. Remember when Nick Nolte got pulled over for a DUI and he looked like hell. He looked like a meth head in that picture. Now here's one. John Pavlovitz, this Democrat shill, can't seem to compartmentalize different things that are happening in the world. The thing that really bothers me about the Paul Pelosi and Hunter Biden stories is that the Republican Party and a sitting president conspired to overturn an election and permanently install a dictator, and that they're a few months away. They are a few months away from succeeding at it. Really, dipshit? Did they now? Did they really try to overturn an election and permanently install a dictator? Is that what they were doing on that January 6th protest? Or were they just trying to get votes counted in those states where it seemed pretty sketchy? Now, I don't know. I can't tell you what I really think on YouTube anyway, because they'll get me in trouble. Good morning, Jaeger Pony. Good morning. Oh, I already said hi to Rick. So that's a distraction. Now again, by the way, the big shows tonight is who's going to watch the big show tonight? You know what I'm talking about, right? The January 6th committee primetime special on AB. In fact, you know what? Hang on a second. I don't have a script for this, but let's just try this off the cuff. Let's try something. Hang on a second. We want something. Let's go with. Here we go. Let's try this. We're going 90s pop for this kind of stuff. Oh, that's terrible. No. I want something. That is boring. Hang on a second. Let's try something better. Let's go. Here we go. Let's try this. Anyway, tonight on ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, CNN Business, CNN Headline News, and CNN International, the January 6th committee will have a super special cast of thousands, and well, we'll get to listen to them tell us about a riot that happened over a year plus ago, and tell us that how bad Donald Trump is. Be there, be square, or just watch Fox and do not have to watch that bullshit. Anyway, that was a very weak on my part. I can do much better, but anyway, that sucked. Anyway, yeah, the January 6th week. You know, it's funny. Is that trending on Twitter? Let's see what's trending on Twitter real quick before I continue. Let's see, trending right here, and then I'll get to the other news. Let's see, for January 6th committee hearings. Oh, here it is, right here. This is the big one, man. This is the big one, and people are really pissed off that it's not going to be on Fox News. So Fox News is not. This is Dean Obadiah. He's a jackhole, liberal, left-wing Democrat, buttface. Anyway, Fox News is not airing this January 6th hearing Thursday. Instead, they will put on air Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, the two people who have amplified lies about the 2020 election and downplayed the January 6th attack. My new MSNBC article on Fox News is anti-American democracy.
You're a lying dog-faced pony show.
Brooklyn Diane says Hunter Biden is not the president. Global inflation is not blocking gun reform. It's trending right now because the GOP is shitting a brick over January 6th. Nobody gives a fuck about January 6th. You know what? Here's the one he did get right. Did not cause global inflation. No, Hunter Biden didn't. And I wouldn't say that Joe Biden didn't either, but all you assholes who want to remake the world into your own special image and of your little World Economic Forum fucking fuck faces are the ones who don't really care about the inflation because you think it's going to give you an opportunity to change the world into your special image where you can control everything and control what everybody does and what everybody eats and what everybody has, or they can have nothing and like it, and you guys can be the special people who save the world in your own image while you guys get richer and richer and richer, and we all live like peasants. So fuck you. Anyway, and Hunter Biden, the reason he's news. Let me just tell you this. Let me just tell you why Hunter Biden's news. Because he's proof of a corrupt system in which the former vice president of the United States made millions and millions of dollars because of their corrupt system and their corrupt dealings. So if you don't like it, too bad. That's why people are talking about it. But is he? I don't even see he's trending right now. Anyway, I'm debating whether or not I'm going to live stream that little event. I'll leave a link here to the way Twitter's treated. It's interesting because the number one top tweet about it Catherine Herridge actually is now at the top. Let's see. January 6th committee hearings. A group of House Republicans questioned Wednesday whether the committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol violated rules when it reportedly hired a former news executive. Now, did we read about that yesterday? Let's just. Oh no, I read this morning. Let me go to this article real quick because I think this is interesting. So, a group of House Republicans questioned Wednesday whether the committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol violated rules when it hired a former news executive. The 5 representatives wrote in a letter to the committee. To the committee's Democratic leadership. Well, Democratic leadership. The whole committee's Democrats. Okay, kind of. You know what I mean. Except for those 2. Real Wade Nation, how you doing? Okay. 5 representatives wrote in a letter to the committee's Democratic leadership that they are seeking confirmation that former ABC News president James Goldston is working for the committee. Axios first reported Monday that Goldston is an unannounced advisor to the committee, which is holding its first of at least 6 public hearings in a rare primetime session on Thursday. In other words, known as desperation because they know they're getting shellacked in the midterms. Now, and then they have a little thing here on CBS News. How to watch the January 6th public hearing. I'm going to open that link, and we're going to look at that in a second. The Republicans wrote how they are unaware of whether the required letter requesting approval for Goldston's hiring has been submitted to the Committee on House Administration. Quote, to our knowledge, the committee has not received or considered such a request, wrote the representatives, including Committee on House and Administration ranking member Rodney Davis and 4 others who in July 2021 were recommended by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy to join the January 6th committee. Those recommendations were later rescinded by McCarthy after Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected 2 of the 5, Representative Jim Jordan and Representative Jim Banks. The Republicans noted in their letter that Goldson would be barred from working for the January 6th committee for free. Such an arrangement would violate House rules and the Health Ethics Manual regulations, which clearly states that no logical distinction can be drawn between private contribution of in-kind services and the private contributions of money, they wrote. The Office of the January 6th Committee Chair Benny Thompson and Committee Chair on House Administration Chairperson Zoe Lofgren did not immediately reply to requests for comments. Thompson said last week that the hearing will feature a combination of witnesses, exhibits, things that we have through tens of thousands of exhibits. Oh, I'm sure that's going to be very select. Are they going to show the video where the Capitol Police were letting people in the West Door, just saying, hey, come on in. Yeah, you can come in through here. Here we go. Come on, just walk down this hallway. Just don't touch anything and blah, blah, blah. And they even talk. Remember that guy, the dude with the horns? There's video of them talking to a group of them, right? They stopped them inside the Capitol building, right? Because they just kind of walked in and they were let in. And the Capitol Police were instructing them on how to behave. And as long as you guys aren't going to break anything, you can come on in. And so he shouts back to the other guys. He goes, hey, you hear that? Now we got to be respectful of what's here and that, blah, 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 blah. And then they just let him walk on in. I mean, it's a video of it. Are they going to show that this during these televised prime time hearings? I doubt it. Anyway, Republicans wrote that they were unaware of whether a required letter requesting approval for Golden's. Did we already do that? I already said that. Did this thing scroll back up? Yes, it did. Anyway, Committee Chair Benny Thompson said last week, here will feature a combination of witnesses, exhibits, things that we have through tens of thousands of exhibits we've looked at, as well as hundreds of witnesses we deposed or just talked to in general. I'm sure this is going to be very comprehensive of everything they've done. I'm sure they're just not going to cherry pick specific things that they want to show. That's the problem. This is, oh God, it's a fucking dog and pony show. Anyway, the committee, which has interviewed some of former President Donald Trump's closest advisors, including his children, Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr., and son-in-law Jared Kushner, has promised to show, quote, previously unseen material from its nearly year-long investigation. That the FBI, the Justice Department, has said that there's no collusion, there's no top-down anything to this, but yes, the committee is going to show you some special footage. Anyway, the Select Committee plans to call 2 witnesses on Thursday. Nick Quested, a filmmaker who followed the Proud Boys on January 6th, and Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards, the first law enforcement officer injured by rioters storming the Capitol grounds. Edwards suffered dramatic brain injury and has not been able to return to work since the attack, according to the committee. So, you know what? Here's the thing. If they know who hurt that officer, they should go to jail. No doubt in my mind. Not a problem. The 200 plus people they're holding in Washington jails in solitary confinement and not able to see their families and all that stuff for 2 years. You know what? There's a whole provision in federal law that you should have a quick and speedy trial by a jury of your peers. But no, some of these people are in jail for almost, well, not 2 years. They've been in jail for over a year at least. Wait, 22. No, some have been almost in for 2 years. Amazing, huh? Amazing. No, not 2 years, 1 year. They've been in jail for over a year. In fact, and the judges in these cases, you can't get a fair trial in D.C. for the shit like this. You cannot get a fair trial in D.C. In fact, what's that Sussman? Sussman's trial was in D.C. and they acquitted him, even though he freaking lied. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, all right, that's not what I want to talk about today. But anyway, I'll have those articles here. There's also a second one. How to watch oh, wait a minute. Is this an editorial? Why is CBS News putting an article about how to watch?
My life used to be so calm and fun until one day.
Okay, yeah, you should have. I don't want the commercial. how to watch the January 6th committee public hearing. Well, I have a suggestion, and it involves a lot of alcohol. I'm just saying. Okay, so they're saying the committee is holding the public hearing, blah, blah, blah. How, CBS News will broadcast the hearing as a special report on all CBS stations starting at 8 p.m. That's Eastern time. Anchored by oh my God. Anchored by CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell. She will be joined by CBS News chief political analyst John Dickerson, chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa, Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Okay, no, do not watch it on CBS News. Do not watch it on ABC News. Do not watch it on NBC News, MSNBC, CNN, or any network news channel. If you have to watch this, find a C-SPAN channel where you're not getting a special commentary or embellishment, I should say. And also, or you can watch, well, I'm debating it. I'm debating if I'm going to do this one live. If you see me put something up at 7 o'clock Central, I might be able to do that. Anyway, we'll see. But I would say watch it where you're not getting any commentary. Don't watch it where you're going to get some Me Too happy go lucky, we believe everything and we have an agenda analysis. I'm just saying, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, before I move on, thank you, Tyre Alexander, for being the first sponsor today. Tyre Alexander, you are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. And let's get some, here, let's try this. We'll put it to music. Maybe. Why is that not playing? There we go. Tyre Alexander, thank you for dropping a small bullet in the tip jar today. Who says, please live stream this. We will have the official P-Dog Night and Pony Show. Copyright Mansquatch. We can do a drinking game. Official rules for the January 6th drinking game pending. Hey! That might not be a bad idea. I like it. I'll see what Lady Boomer says. Because I don't think we have any plans tonight. It's just, I hope it doesn't last all night long. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. Yeah, I think I might. I'll see if I can bring some guests and we'll watch it together. All right. So anyway, because I'm just going to make fun of them. Sorry, I can't help it. Thank you, Aaron Meredith, for sending me that. I do want to open that. And I'm going to put this down over here. All right, moving on. Let's see, what else we got here? So that we got Paul Pelosi. Wait, what the hell's going on there? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. This should be on Paul Pelosi. I want to make sure. Okay, remember, I am. Oh, there it is. Okay, January 6th. Okay, I have, as you know, at the end of the show, the tweets, the topics, or whatever, the articles, video, whatever, they're all going to be in a single link in the description down below. I put them in a link down there if you didn't already know that. Let's move on, though. Now, there is oh, shoot, that page is not found. That National Review article you just sent me, the page is not there, Aaron. But anyway, I am going to talk about that anyway. So, Sonia Sotomayor is trending this morning on Twitter. And that's because people are kind of, well, let's just put it this way. If you didn't know, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. They caught a guy who was near Brett Kavanaugh's house. He had weapons, ammunition, and all kinds of stuff. And he told the law officials that he was going to kill Brett Kavanaugh. And what's fascinating about that? Okay, this is a Supreme Court justice. People are, that's a pretty big damn deal, right? Oh, look at that. There's me. What's really, where is it? Oh no, this thing flipped. Let me see if I can find it still. What's interesting is the New York Times today. Here's the cover of the New York Times. Here is the cover of the New York Times. Now, over here, Russia extends its grip on areas it has overrun. For Democrats, California vote sends a warning. House passes bills that impose limits on sales of guns. Vanishing word in abortion debate. Women back to the office never worked for you. Inside attack on democracy. That's Thursday. That's today's paper. New York Times, front page of the New York Times. An assassination attempt? Or a potential assassination attempt on a Supreme Court justice of the United States doesn't make the front page of the New York Times? How so? So the reason Sotomayor is trending is a lot of people are going, well, if this had been Sandra Sotomayor, well, it'd be on the front page of every page and newspaper and individual website, news website in the country, right? All right, let me refresh this so this pops up. So, let's see. I might have cared about taking steps to protect. Okay, hang on a second. Now, something that had been brewing since the protest in front of a few of the Supreme Court justices' homes is there was a bill in I want to say in the Senate maybe, that was for, putting a protection on Supreme Court justices. And so this article comes up. Someone keeps mentioning this article today from the USA Today, because there was a federal judge not that long ago whose son was killed and husband was injured or whatever. And so now this is from February 20th. Federal judge says, this is from February. Federal judge says assailant who attacked her family had a dossier on Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Federal judge's son was killed and husband was wounded in an attack on their home last year. Says the assailant was also planning to target Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. U.S. District Court Judge Esther Salas told 60 Minutes in an interview that will air Sunday that authorities found a dossier on Sotomayor in a locker used by the assailant Roy Den Hollander. They found another gun, a Glock, more ammunition. Salas told the CBS News program, but the most troubling thing they found was a manila folder with a workup on Justice Sonia Sotomayor. So you would think that Democrats might be interested in, now that this is the second incident, that they'd be interested in perhaps at least putting more security around them. Which right now, the reason this got foiled yesterday is because there were officers outside of Kavanaugh's house, and the this would-be assailant was deterred, so to speak, and he ended up calling the police on himself, saying that that's what he was doing. Now, I don't know if this jackhole was really going to do this, or if he was just trying to get attention. He mentioned two things to the police: one, that he was going to talk about because of abortion and because of the proposed or whatever. There's a gun law before the court right now. And was this guy actually going to do something, or he just a really stupid way of getting attention to his causes? I don't know. But obviously, if the roles were reversed, a pro-life fanatic were arrested outside Sotomayor's house, the media would already be charting conservative rhetoric. So let's look at a little bit of the rhetoric that's been going on as far as the justices lately. And should we complain about the outlandish rhetoric that Democrats are doing? Here's a quick clip here.
War has been declared on the American woman.
How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body?
We are not going back.
Yeah, they're trying to criminalize.
our bodies. Yes, they're trying to move toward states' rights, and we all know what states' rights means.
The founding fathers didn't recognize abortion as a fundamental right because the founding fathers were racist, misogynist jerk faces who didn't believe that women had any rights at all.
The 50 years of rights, the decades of precedent that has just been spit on and thrown away in this draft opinion.
No one is safe. This overturning Roe will be a mass criminalization event.
And honestly, at this point, I think we're all right to question the legitimacy of the court.
It read like an anti-abortion activist wrote it, not a Supreme Court justice.
These justices are acting like this is somehow something that they have the right to change. They do not have the right to change this.
And this Supreme Court has said they don't care. They don't care about those women. What they care about is imposing their extremist view on the rest of the country.
The Supreme Court is poised to inflict the greatest
speaking of which,
in the past 50 years.
Chuck Schumer.
The decision would be an abomination, one of the worst ever in modern history.
Not ever.
Really? Whoa. Did Chuck Schumer just say the worst ever in human history? Really? Because I seem to remember them holding. I remember them upholding separate but equal at one point that got overturned eventually. I remember them holding up certain slave return laws that were eventually just returned over. I think there's been worse things in history, Chuck, you smarmy prick. I'm sorry, smarmy Chuck Schumer, the smarmy prick from New York. Hello, Jaeger Pony and Dogfather. Nice to see you, my favorite Canadian, and the Dogfather. That's all I can say. Yeah, Dred Scott. Yeah, that wasn't a good one either. Hello, San.
This is the kind of news that rocks your world as a woman.
Women have barely had any rights in this country most of the time that women have been in this country.
My worry is that this is just the beginning.
Women barely have any rights?
Maybe the board, what is it, Brown versus Board of Education? Yeah.
It's clear that they will try to turn back the clock to a time when women, people of color, LGBTQ people are second-class citizens.
The story that women across America and the men who love them, or the men who might like sex, care about, is our fundamental right to abortion.
Okay, so yeah, that's the Gravian thing. So anyway, so no overheated rhetoric could have caused this, and I don't even know why anyone would think that. Oh, wait a minute. Joe Biden was on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and boy, after you find out that a Supreme Court justice was close to being in the sights of a person with ending possibilities, predicts a mini revolution in November if SCOTUS overturns Roe versus Wade. President Biden, in an interview broadcast late Wednesday, predicted a mini revolution in November, his midterm elections. Oh, in November's midterm elections, if Supreme Court overturns the landmark 1973 decision, easy for me to say, in Roe versus Wade, which enshrined abortion access as a constitutional right. Do they have a clip? I want the clip. God, why did they do this? Why did they not provide the clip? Anyway, he said on Jimmy Kimmel Live, this was his words, "I don't think the country will stand for it. If in fact the decision comes down the way it does, and these states impose the limitations they're talking about, it's going to cause a mini revolution. And they're going to vote these folks out of office." I just don't know if you should be using the term revolution, because that's kind of like fight. And even if you say it in a sense of a revolution in politics, you could be called insurrection. Oh, excuse me, insurrection. So, Joe, I don't know if those are the right words. Anyway, also trending, we got that already. Let's see. Oh, obviously if the roles reverse and a pro-life. Here's a couple tweets just related to that. That already showed you the article. Showing you that the New York Times did not have it on their front page. Here's another one. Obviously, if the roles were reversed, pro-life fanatics were arrested outside Sotomayor's house. The media would already. Oh, they already read that one. Be targeted, and we already showed you the judge one. Now let's move on. The House of Representatives has passed legislation that's called the Protecting Our Kids Act gun legislation package has not gone to the Senate yet, but the House of Representatives has passed the Protecting Our Kids Act on a 223 to 204 vote Wednesday. The gun legislation package includes several proposals, including the restriction of sales of large capacity ammunition magazines and raising the minimum age for the purchase of certain firearms. The landmark bill has been symbolic as the measure will face difficulties in the Senate. Bloomberg and the New York Times report. Will also to face problems in the Supreme Court because the United States Supreme Court already struck down a law that California tried to put this very much like it. So if you want to read about that, there's more on that here. So let's see. I'm going to move on because I want to get to the main point today. All right. So today, this gentleman, this is the main topic today. This gentleman, Ben Collins, he is a NBC News, I think. Well, he says he's from NBC News. Senior reporter, Dystopia Beat. There's a Dystopia Beat at NBC News. Fascinating. Well, he tweeted about this article in a publication called The Racket, basically a Substack blog, so to speak. Says this is a great story about how old media was badly duped. Badly. Now, wait a minute. Badly duped badly. Double badly. By several people on YouTube trying to make money. So, first of all, I'm fascinated by the language just there alone, that the people on YouTube who were reporting on a certain story were just trying to make money. Because I resemble that remark. By the way, he spots the show at over there, PDogNight.live. Right that way. See that over there? You can sponsor there. Anyway, and then he says old media needs to learn from new media. The day of the journalist fully investigating and writing a story based on facts seems to be gone. Oh, at least he got that right. Now it's clickbait articles with whatever narrative that particular journalist or newspaper wants to push onto the public. Oh, that's someone else responding to him. But that seems to be what the media does. And so I think one of the things that if you've watched, this is based on the Amber Heard trial, right? So and I'll give you an example. So here's this Washington Post story, because this is what this story is about. So I'm going to go to the Washington Post story first, and then we'll get to this blogger who's supporting this Washington Post article. So remember, there was a big controversy over this article by Taylor Lorenz. Now, the biggest controversy about this story, because most people just laughed at her writing, was the fact that the Washington Post has made several corrections to this story regarding whether or not they contacted a couple of the subjects in the story. But one thing that we haven't done yet is we really haven't looked at the story. So I'm going to look at this story, and then I'm going to look at the story that follows this, and hopefully I'll have enough time here to do this. So this is Taylor Lorenz on a story called Who Won the Depp Heard Trial? Content creators that went all in. Now, this is fascinating. Hello, Midnight in Exile. What's happening? Influence. Before I do that, thank you, Tyler Alexander. Let me put some appropriate music on for the super chat here. Just a second here. Let's go Happy Romantic. Okay, today, holy shit, what is going on with my computer today? Play. There we go. Thank you, Tyler Alexander, for putting another small bullet in the tip jar. Tyre says, being told that women have little rights by women who make the decisions for everyone, who are some of the richest, is like a farmer telling a cow that he is more hurt when he kills and eats him. Yes, I get your point there. Thank you very much, Tyler Alexander, for sponsoring the show one more time. All right, let's look at this because a lot of people have not even heard this article. See, so Taylor Lorenz writes, influencers discover there's money and clout to be made in covering breaking news. Oh, is that what it is? Because, you know, Taylor Lorenz is, she's a volunteer columnist at the Washington Post, where she's landed after several other big writing gigs. Yes, she does this completely volunteer. She takes no salary. She's like Donald Trump. She takes a $1 salary a year to write for the Washington Post. There's no money in being the shitbag that she is at the Washington Post. Now, here's this editor's note that we were talking about. I'll put it on screen now. So there's the editor's note. Now, this is funny because this editor's note is kind of the key to the controversy behind this article, even though the article itself is crap too. The first published version of this story stated incorrectly that internet influencers, now it's funny they still call them influencers because Alita Mazika is an attorney that did analysis of the entire trial long before the trial even started. She was talking about motions. She's been following this closely throughout and doing analysis, right? And that umbrella guy, who I believe that umbrella guy, who, and the reason his name came to prominence is because he got mentioned in the trial. And I think he might be a licensed psychologist or something like that. Anyway, stated incorrectly that internet influencers Alita Mazika and that umbrella guy had been contacted for comment before publication. In fact, only Mazika was asked via Instagram. Okay. That did not happen before publication, but they've changed the language to this a couple times now so it's implying that she was asked via Instagram prior to publication. She was not, and she's confirmed that. In fact, after the story was published, the Post continued to sink comment from Mazika. No, the first time they tried to seek comment from Mazika was after the story was already published. She says via social media and queried that umbrella guy for the first time. This is false. They did not try to contact Mazika prior to publication. She's said it several times, and they still aren't correcting this again. During that process, the Post removed the incorrect statement from the story, but did not note its removal. A violation of our corrections policy. The story has been updated to note that Mazika declined to comment for this story, and that umbrella guy could not be reached for comment. A previous version of the story also inaccurately attributed a quote to Adam Waldman, a lawyer for Johnny Depp. The quote described how he contacted some internet influencers and it has been removed, which that's a poorly written sentence. So anyway, they still haven't gotten this right. Anyway, but let's read some of the story because it's not that long. So Taylor Lorenz writes, when the verdict came down in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial Wednesday afternoon, thousands of online influencers scrambled to respond. Twitch streamers reacted to the news in real time. YouTubers posted analysis videos. Instagram meme accounts joked and celebrate Depp's win. TikTokers broke down the most meaningful moments from the decision. The videos and memes were just the latest in a tidal wave of content about the trial that dominated the internet for much of the past 2 months. Now, some of us, I'm sure a few of you, if you were watching this trial, were you watching it by TikTok clips or memes or anything like that? Or were you watching it with maybe some of the internet lawyers like Rakita Law, for example? Or, God, what was the best one? The purple-haired lawyer. She was the best. I was watching it on her channel, and I can't blank. I'm blank on her name anyway. Or Legal Bites had it. All these different legal channels were watching. Nate the lawyer was watching it. I mean, and they were giving legal commentary the entire time. These were professional lawyers who know the law and know how the courts work and know how this all works. But she continues, the trial offered a potential glimpse into the future of media where content creators serves as the personalities breaking news to an increasing number of viewers. Well, yes, because you guys are freaking boring and lie and put your own agenda into it. Let's see. and in turn define the online narrative around major news events. Oh, because that's the Washington Post's job. And you know what's funny about this too? I thought about this later, and I haven't heard anyone really make this point, but I'm sure they have because people are a lot smarter than me. Isn't it fascinating that the person bitching about the news coverage of the Depp Heard trial, and I'll see if it's in this article. I bet it's not, because it would seem that the reason this trial started in the first place was because of an op-ed Amber Heard wrote in the Washington Post. There's kind of a conflict of interest here, isn't there? But I bet you Taylor Lorenz doesn't once mention that there might be a conflict, or at least disclosure that this trial started because of the Post printing Amber Heard's op-ed. Anyway, Legal Bites is like a debutante of the Gigi Allen Show. Thinks she can make an easy buck from these kids into that punk rock thing. She doesn't understand that she's at our party, not vice versa. That's kind of how she's writing this, isn't it? That's hilarious. Anyway, so those creators can also bring in major personal profit in the process. Oh, profit? Oh no! Some of these people might be making money while they're doing this. Well, it seems like they're putting a lot of time and effort for it, and if they're entertaining, I have no problem I don't mind giving them my money. I'd rather give them my money than you my money. So there. Or the government. Anyway, in this new landscape, every big news event becomes an opportunity to amass followers, money, and clout. Yes, that's the only reason they do it. Not because they're interested in the trial, or maybe they're interested in justice, or they're lawyers doing analysis. No, they're just here for, what did she say? Money, followers, and clout. At the Depp Heard trial, and the Depp Heard trial showed how the creator-driven news ecosystem can influence public opinion based on platform incentives. Oh, yes, because that's exactly it. Nearly every large breaking news event in this past year has birthed a new crop of online influencers. As the coronavirus began its deadly spread across the country, people turned to large health-focused influencers to make sense of it. Yes, because there's a lot of health experts who give you a lot more information than the bullshit you read in the Washington Post. When Russia invaded Ukraine, war pages proliferated. Did they now? I haven't seen them. There's some people who talk about it, but I don't know about that. And with their creators earning thousands by selling merchandise and posting OnlyFans ads. Really? Wait a minute. When Russia invaded Ukraine, war pages proliferated, with their creators earning thousands by selling merchandise and posting OnlyFans ads? What the fuck is she talking about? What part of the internet is she looking at? Good God. And as waves of anti-LGBTQ legislation flourished in recent months, popular LGBTQ streamers and TikTokers received major boosts in attention. Yeah, from the libs of TikTok. Oh, you know what? You know why? Because Taylor Lorenz wrote a story about libs of TikTok. Wait a minute. Did she really write that? And as waves of anti-LGBTQ legislation flourished in recent months, popular LGBTQ streamers and TikTokers received major boosts in attention. You know what, whatever the fuck your name is, I almost said Taylor Swift, Taylor Lorenz, you gave one of them a front page story and tried to dox them, didn't it? And boy, did she reap the benefits of your stupid story. Anyway, when the Depp Heard trial began gaining traction online in April, internet users around the world recognized a fresh opportunity to seize and monetize the attention. Really? Because the one in particular that you have in this story called Legal Bites, she'd been covering the trial from almost the first filing of the motions of the trial. So what do you mean she seized the opportunity? A lot of people were interested in the trial. What are you talking about? Christopher Orrick, a 20-year-old content creator in Los Angeles, has posted dozens of videos about the trial to his more than 1.4 million followers. I think I saw a couple of his videos too on Instagram. Oh, no, not on Instagram. Across several pages. Personally, what I've gained from it is money as well as exposure from how well the videos do, he said. You can go from being a kid in high school, if you hop on it early, it can basically change your life, Ork said. You can use those views and likes and shares that you get from it to monetize and build your account and make more money from it and meet more people and network. Okay. Now, here's the one, though, that they brought up because she didn't. It's funny. I don't know if she did. Well, let's see if she did or not. The content creator, Alita Mazika, now earned more than $5,000 in 1 week by pivoting the content on her YouTube channel to nonstop trial coverage and analysis, according to Business Insider. Now, it's funny because notice that she doesn't mention that Alita Mazika is a lawyer and had been covering this from early on. She didn't pivot the content. She's always doing legal content. She declined to comment for this story because she was never asked until after the story was written. That Umbrella Guy, an anonymous YouTuber whose entire channel is dedicated to pro-dep content. Not at first. When this trial started out, he didn't have a side on this. Earned up to $80,000 last month, according to an estimate by social analytics firm Social Blade. Social analytics firm? That's funny. They're just a website. Anyway, that Umbrella Guy could not be reached for comment because you didn't try. And that's why. Ork said that he earned over $5,400 last month on Instagram Reels bonus payments. When large creators saw the attention relative unknowns were receiving, many fully pivoted their content into covering the trial. Makeup artists, meme accounts, comedian. Wait a minute. You don't think that some of these people were going to watch the trial anyway? What a dumb bitch. Anyway, makeup artists, meme accounts, comedians, lifestyle influencers, K-pop fans, movie reviewers, 2 crime podcasters, real estate influencers. Suddenly, the Depp trial was their primary focus. Content produced by social media influencers skewed heavily pro-Depp. Yeah, because Amber Heard's a lying bitch. Anyway, with economic bias playing a big role. No. Let's put it this way. Let's say that in this trial, we found out that Johnny Depp actually was a shithead, wife-beating prick. Do you think that pro-Amber Heard bias would be shown? Because we were all watching the same trial, you moron. God, she's stupid. Content produced by social media skewed heavily pro-Depp with economic bias playing a big role. No, the facts of the case played a big role. The evidence in the case played a big role. People were watching the trial itself. Johnny's content performed a lot better, said Rowan Winch, a 17-year-old content creator. When people do post stuff trying to defend Amber Heard, they will lose followers because she was a lying bitch. A lot of major content creators probably don't even care about it that much. They just care about the views that it gets. Well, this 17-year-old, is that really, you're going to take the word of a 17-year-old when there's plenty of, did you bother even looking at some of the lawyers that were watching this trial? How about the psychoanalysts that were watching this trial? There's a lot of people covering this trial that had credentials, but you don't seem to care about those, do you, Taylor? Anyway, Depp's own team recognized the phenomenon at hand and looked to capitalize on it. Did they? Last month, Adam, it's funny. So they say up here, let's see. Previous version of the story also inaccurately attributed a quote to Adam Waldman, a lawyer from Johnny Depp. The quote described how he contacted some internet influencers and has been removed. Except down here, let's see what they say here. Depp's own team recognized the phenomenon at hand and looked to capitalize on it. Did they? Last month, Adam Waldman, who represented Depp against Heard's abuse allegations in 2016, testified that he had numerous phone calls with several sympathetic YouTubers and content creators whom he called internet journalists, quote unquote. She doesn't like the term internet journalist because that puts them in the same level as her. I communicate with the internet journalists exactly the same way I communicate with the mainstream media. I'll inform them, he said. Well, there's a lot of people on the internet who do journalism. I bet she doesn't have a problem with the Young Turks. As traditional news outlets prioritize stories such as leaked Supreme Court draft opinion on abortion, the war in Ukraine, and mass shootings in Buffalo and Texas, it left an opening for online coverage to set the tone with the Depp Heard trial. I've covered all those things. I remember that. In fact, I didn't cover the Depp Heard trial. I covered all those other things, but I guess maybe I should have covered the Depp Heard trial, and I'd be famous now. I can't wait to the day Taylor Renz writes a story on me. Hello, Gunfox61. Anyway, there's a seriousness that legacy media follows when they cover these things, said Aaron Saltzman, a strategist who works with content creators and NFT artists. Content creators can lean into internet culture. They can be silly and crude and crass. It comes off as way more authentic to a lot of people, and I think that really resonates. I think he's 100% right. But while people who consume their news from content creators often believe it will be more trustworthy than mainstream media, creators aren't beholden to any editorial standards or journalistic norms. Kat Turnbarge, a reporter at NBC News covering the trial, tweeted, pot kettle. In fact, they're incentivized to break them to fit the narrative and make money. Pot kettle. Media and influencers on the political right. On the political right, oh, I see. This is going to be a right-wing conspiracy. Is this Hillary Clinton writing this story? Media influencers on the political right seized upon the cultural moment to make Deb a cause celebre, using their coverage to turn the trial into a referendum on the Me Too movement. No, it didn't. No, they didn't. All they did was watch the case and say, hey, here's a case that was bullshit by Amber Heard. As more people turn to online creators for information, misinformation flourishes, and the trial could provide a playbook for anyone looking to leverage the creator economy for their own gain. Yes, they do this for money. Joe Federer, the author of the book, The Hidden Psychology of Social Networks, said that it's easy to see how manipulating a TikTok algorithm or planting the right information with the right influencers causes a real misunderstanding of important issues. Yes, that's what's happened here. Nobody watched the case. Nobody watched the testimony. They just tricked the algorithm and you'd believe something. The popularity of the trial online has only emboldened influencers to lean harder into breaking news and compete more directly with traditional news organizations and coverage, because the traditional news organizations and coverage are bullshit. By Thursday morning, less than 24 hours after the verdict came down, many creators were already in search of the next big story. Marlon McLeod, 20, a content creator who runs a large Instagram account with 3 million followers dedicated to posting videos of attractive men, said he plans to pivot his page to covering more news. A video he posted recently about the trial got more than 34 million views. I do want to cover more news and big things happen. He says, I do want to cover more news and big things happening in the world, he said. Before the trial, my account was about posting random videos of men, but as my account grows, I want to be diving more into these events and reporting on them, kind of like news outlets. So let's see. Maybe he found it more interesting posting about something that actually means something than eye candy. Maybe? So that's Taylor Lorenz's story. So now, the controversy around the supposed contacting these, she calls them, what does she call them? What the hell did she call them? They're vloggers. Well, she didn't say vlog. She didn't use the word vloggers here, which is, she called them influencers, right? Still, there's a sneering attitude that, oh, she's a journalist and they're just influencers. Well, now this whole thing is blown up, and now what's overshadowed at the Washington Post, unfortunately, is the high school newspaper feud between a bunch of the people who work at the Washington Post, right? We kind of been talking about that. But then I came across this article this morning. Just take the W, grifters. Now, this is some sneering, shoddy BS writing that's hilarious, but talking about that situation with the fact that the Washington Post got caught being basically unethical and lying about whether or not they tried to contact a couple of these people in the story, which would not have been a big story had they just fixed it right the first time, taking the line out saying they tried to contact these two people, one who happens to be a lawyer and actually has a profession that has actual standards, or she would lose her law license, versus journalists who have ethics and standards, but we don't know exactly what they are because, anyway. So this guy says, this Jonathan Katz, who writes with something called the Racket News, which is basically a Substack. It's just a Substack page. Oh, by the way, so basically he's a blogger. Listen to wait you hear this sniveling idiot. This is taking longer than I want, but anyway. There were plenty of things to argue about after Johnny Depp won his mutual defamation case against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. What does the verdict mean for domestic abuse allegations? Well, I would say that it's the person who was a victim of domestic abuse won, so congratulations, that's a good thing. Anyway, is it a blow to the First Amendment or isn't it? No, it's not, because you can't. Someone had a great analogy this morning. Yeah, you can. You have free speech, but you cannot defame somebody. Just like the Second Amendment, you can have a gun, but you can't murder somebody. That's the same thing. But one take seems indisputable. Now he's going to say, I'll just read the next line. The biggest winners were TikTokers, YouTubers, and Instagrammers who surged in fame thanks to their coverage of the case. How exactly did they surge in fame? Oh, because a couple of these legacy media people decided to write about them. You probably wouldn't have known anything about them other than they have lots of new followers because of the trial. But the Washington Post wrote about them. How did that happen? Except for the umbrella guy who was brought up during the case. The Washington Post put it succinctly in its June 2nd headline, "Who won the Depp-Heard trial? Content creators that went all in." A day later, New York Magazine said the same thing in reverse about Shore Shisha, about a Shore Shisha joint, whatever that is. Quote, "The mainstream media lost the Depp-Heard trial, and the lifestyle influencers turned court correspondents won." Now that's interesting because the main controversy, remember, is the lawyer who didn't get contacted for that article, even though they said they did. And that's what this is about. We'll get there. Personally, if multiple national publications were running headlines like, "Who won X? Jonathan M. Katz," I'd be pretty psyched. But that's not how this emerging media class reacted. Instead, it and the right-wing media outlets who helped promote it have spent the last few days melting down. Who's melting down? This whole article is a meltdown by this blogger named Jonathan Katz. Personally, the shitstorm focused mainly on the Post piece, byline by Taylor Lorenz, who's a smarmy prick like Chuck Schumer. Lorenz is a columnist covering online culture. She was poached by Bezos Inc. from the New York Times earlier this year because her beat involves critical reporting on the extremely online and has investigated a number of prominent right-wing accounts. She has become a lightning rod for attacks on social media. You mean people calling her out for her bullshit? It was unlikely that any piece that by that particular reporter about a story that has commanded the attention of a legion of Depp stands, men's rights activists, and true crime devotees would be warmly received. Because she's a lying bitch. But the drama really kicked up when two social media pundits who received passing mentions in Lorenz's article noticed a legitimate error. The Post claimed a parenthetical statement that both did not respond to requests for comment. But no one from the Post, it seems, had reached out to either. Making things worse, sometime after the YouTubers tweeted about it, the erroneous sentence was deleted without a note explaining what had happened. Now, before I even go on, this became an issue on both her site and Hogue Law, who's also covering this. And he's the one who brought it up, and that's how Fox News found out about it. A Fox News media reporter, got on the case the next day, apparently after he called the Post appended a formal correction, and they still got it wrong. This was both an embarrassing mistake and an embarrassing way to handle it. It was also, and I can already sense a screenshot cursor hovering over this paragraph, not a particularly big deal. Well, you broke your policies and you didn't, and then you never mentioned that this was a lawyer talking about. Let me go back real quick. Thank you, GunFox61. What did I do there? That was dumb. Thank you, GunFox61. Dropping a big $5 in the tip jar. Thank you very much. And GunFox61, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Gunfox says, yes, the Washington compost is so real news. Just like the New York lies. I mean, this news story sounds like something communist so-called news network. Oh, the communist so-called news network would post. Yes, absolutely. Gunfox61. And thank you much for sponsoring the show today. You're a fantastic American, and I appreciate you. All right. All right. Let's finish this up real quick because I'm already running late. So anyway, this was both an embarrassing mistake, an embarrassing way to handle it. It was also, not particularly a big deal. Not a big deal to him, I guess. But, if someone says they contacted you for comment and you didn't, then that person obviously lied. A lie in a media article is a lie. And whether it's a small lie or a big lie, your reputation as a media organization is only as good as the way people can trust you. And if you lie, then people don't trust you. But then let's read what he has to say about that. From a purely journalistic standpoint, the need to get comments from either of the aggrieved vloggers, I hate the fact that he uses that word vloggers. That's why I got upset about this. I'm sorry. Alita Matika, or whatever her last name is a practicing lawyer. Well, she's not practicing at the moment because she's overseas with her husband who's deployed overseas, so she does legal analysis on her YouTube channel, and people like it, so they give her money. And she's not a vlogger. A vlogger is someone who's walks about their day and tells you how great their breakfast is and shows you when they're walking their dog and whatever. That's a vlogger. These are YouTube channels that have specific themes, focus, whatever. And she focuses on the law. She's a lawyer. She's not just a vlogger. Dipshit. So he said they were relatively minor figures in the story, mentioned once each and only in relation to the amount of money each had reportedly made through their avowedly pro-Depp coverage. Nope, not pro-Depp at first. It was just, good God. By contrast, Lorenz interviewed and quoted 3 content creators with much bigger audiences than either of them for the piece, except, well, I think Alita had probably 80, 90,000 people watching the trial on her channel at any given time. Anyway, moreover, and more importantly, Lorenz was not claiming to be doing original reporting on either of the two. She sourced lawyer influencer. Oh, finally mentioned that she's a lawyer. This is the first time in 2 articles that someone's mentioned that she's a lawyer. Alita Mazika's earnings to an article in Business Insider, which the Post linked to and which Mazika, the host of Legal Bites, was quoted at length in reference to the other, a mostly anonymous YouTuber who calls himself that umbrella guy, or Tug for short. She cited earnings estimates from the analytics website Social Blade. He also stated flat out, "I don't talk to media." Well, then why'd you say you talked to him? Lying piece of shit. Anyway, would it have been maximally thorough to drop each a note and offer the chance to comment, even if they were almost certain to ignore her message and bitch about the story anyway? Yes. Wait a minute. If she had dropped them a note and asked them, gave them an opportunity, and then said they declined to comment, there wouldn't be a story, you dipshit. What are you talking about? So whether they would have bitched about the story anyway, which they didn't bitch about the story, all she said was, you didn't contact me. That's a lie. Was it stupid to put a sentence in the piece claiming falsely that they had been given that chance? Obviously. The Daily Beast's Lakin Cartwright reports that the line was inserted by editor David Mallitz as a result of a miscommunication between himself and Lorenz. So Lorenz lied. She lied her ass off. And then she lied again saying, well, I sent her a message on Instagram. No, not before the story was published. You lying. No. Did stealth editing that line turn out to be not only a shady but dumb thing to do, with the story being watched closely by extremely online people motivated to call out the Washington Post, the newspaper which Amber Heard published her jury-declared defamatory op-ed in the first place? Ding, 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 you get an A+ in ethics and internet journalism. Well, hey, hold it. Remember, not even a disclaimer that the original story was in the Washington Post was in Taylor Lorenz's story, which probably should be preceding any story about that trial in the Washington Post, since they're the ones who published her defamatory, now declared by a jury, defamatory op-ed. It's hilarious to think that those influencers, not to mention the edgelords, this is the dripping disdain this person has for anyone who's not like him. Not to mention the edgelords who swarm in their defense are hashing out journalists' best practice in some sort of vast online Pointer Institute seminar. These creators are charitably the new generation of entertainment tabloids. Really? Alita, Legal Bites, is entertainment tabloid? Get the fuck out of here. Heirs to the tradition of the National Enquirer and the Weekly World News. I don't see a Bat Boy article on any of these channels. Shut the fuck. The WWW's editor told the Philadelphia Inquirer 2 decades ago, we don't sit around and make stories up. Oh, you don't? Oh, Russia. Woo. Anyway, somebody makes them up for you. Maybe you don't make them up directly, but oh boy, you... But if we get a story about a guy who thinks he's a vampire, we will take him at his word. Mazika's trial coverage included at least one pseudoscientific body language expert. In another episode, she and a friend spent hours likening Heard's testimony to the plot of Gone Girl, a 2014 Ben Affleck film about a woman who frames men for rape and murder in a calculated plot for revenge, while viewers paid to get their questions and comments featured in the chat. And what do? You have a Substack that people subscribe to, Mr. News Blogger. What are you talking about? You wish you had. This sounds like a jealousy piece to me. Anyway, Tug's entire pseudonymous persona flouts the SJP Code of Ethics. SPJ Code of Ethics. Identify sources clearly. This is a journalism code of ethics. Really? Like you have one here. The public's entitled to as much information as possible to judge the reliability and motivation of sources. Like many on the online right. Now, see, he's accusing this guy of being on the online right. Is this guy, anyone know about him? Who knows about this guy? Is he a right wing guy? I don't know. Never heard of him. Like many on the online right, he regularly accuses anyone who uses an online personality's real name of doxing, even when said personality uses their real name constantly in their public work. He also is a veteran of Comicsgate and Gamergate, the Gamergate sequel. Oh no. This asshole drug Gamergate into this, that BuzzFeed described as an online harassment campaign in which trolls use racist, sexist, and sometimes threatening language to intimidate essentially anyone they believe is advocating for diversity in the comics industry. The facts that Lorenz, for what it's worth, did not include in her piece, all of which takes some of the bite out of his claim that he was unjustly attacked. Oh, good God. Initially, the vloggers, there's that word vloggers again, were somewhat muted in their criticism of the request for comment line. Tug in particular seemed to be testing out a few other possible angles of attack. But after the Fox News piece got a reaction from the other side, first CNN media reporter Oliver Darcy tweeted about it, and then the Post posted a short correction. The vloggers and their allies realized the potency of their charge. Wow, it's funny because Hoag Law and Legal Bites had been talking about this the entire time, about how they never got, and she even tweeted, hey, they still haven't contacted me. This is still not right. Can you guys fix this? This isn't a novel tactic either. Any competent PR flag's first move is to comb a critical article for errors, no matter how insignificant, in hopes of forcing a correction that will cast even the slightest doubt on its readers' minds about the publication's accuracy and integrity. Sorry, please don't use the word integrity and Taylor Renz in the same article, please. There's none. And as it turns out, digging out irrelevant minutia and blowing up molehills in the mountains ranges is a skill both lawyers and true crime fans are particularly adept at. Oh, well, at least you're acknowledging she's a lawyer. It's what drove much of the public obsession with the Depp trial. Why was a photo of spilled wine entered into evidence twice with two different dates? How big exactly was that poop? Because both of those were lies that Amber Heard told. That's why. That's not obsession with. That's bullshit evidence. Holy shit. Anyway, spurred on by the reaction of the Post, the rhetoric ratcheted up. Pointner-esque jargon spread among the anime avatars. Wow. Oh my God. See the little digs he does? Now Lorenz was a fabulous. She had committed serious malpractice. She should be fired or suspended immediately. Yeah, she lied to her editor 3 times and they still haven't gotten the correction right. Panicked, the Post masthead expanded the correction to a full editor's note bolted to the top of the article because she lied. It's a device that heuristically signals to readers that there were severe compromising flaws in the kind that could invalidate the entire piece, instead of what it was, a piece of erroneous boilerplate that is easily and immediately fixed. Well, if it was easily and immediately fixed, the Washington Post failed. The editor's note was particularly like pouring water on a grease fire, as if calibrated for, because they still haven't gotten it right, for Maxim, as if calibrated for Maxim's shittiness. It contained a new erroneous implication that Mazika had been direct messaged via Instagram before the story was first posted. And they still haven't corrected that, have they? Which, according to this Lorenz tweet, does not seem to have been the case. When you post things on Instagram and Twitter, they come with a timestamp. Wait a minute, Taylor Lorenz, according to this, Taylor Lorenz tweet does not seem to have been the case. Let's see what this tweet is. All these other things are linked in the story if you want to check them out, but this is crazy. After the story went live, I reached out to both YouTubers, mentioned that in that sentence just to be extra sure. Now, I went through this before. I've replied to this. After the story went live, I reached out to both YouTubers mentioned in that sentence just to be extra sure there wasn't some sort of commentary they wanted to add. Extra sure means that in the past you wanted to be sure. But if you hadn't contacted them before the story, how can you be extra sure after the story? What do you mean extra sure? Anyway, she did not reach out to them at all. Anyway, Fox News, the New York Post, the National Review, and the Washington Examiner all rushed rushed out pieces about the scandal. Yes, just like the New York Post and the Washington Times and the Washington Post, the New York Times, and CNN, and Brian Stelter love to rush out at anything that Fox News does wrong. Well, some of your competitors will do the same back to you. Just get used to it. Democracy dies at the hands of Taylor Lorenz, the Federalists declared. Meanwhile, the troll armies up their demands. More corrections. Well, until they get it right, maybe. Lorenz rounded up the highest estimate of Tugg's estimated earnings from 79,100 to 80,000. Well, they couldn't. Anyway, she said that Tugg's entire channel is dedicated to pro-Depp content, when in fact, he has occasionally posted non-Depp trial-related videos over the last year. Oh my God, he made a video that wasn't about Johnny Depp in the middle of the Depp trial or the past year? Oh my gosh. When in fact, she purposely omitted that Mazika is also a lawyer. Oh, that's us saying that. But still, that's because she said that's all it's dedicated to, right? And that's stupid. Whatever. She purposely admitted Mazika is a lawyer, which she did. That charge is made by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis spokesman, a dedicated troll and longtime Lorenz opponent who could never resist a good cultural flame war. Well, it's because Taylor Lorenz is a stupid bitch. Anyway, again, I want to note the theme of the article that is inspiring all this. The Washington Post told its audience of tens of millions of digital readers. Tens of millions of digital readers? Citation needed. That the Depp trial offered a potential glimpse in the future of media, one in which content creators could compete more directly with traditional news organizations on coverage. Yeah, and they do. And they do better, and they're more trustworthy, and they give you all the facts, or they just let you watch for yourself. They let you watch the trial for yourself and make your own decisions instead of trying to tell you afterwards that this was still a Me Too moment for Amber Heard, when we find out that Amber Heard's truly a lying bitch. The offending paragraph, the one that resulted again in a whole segment of the internet braying for Lorenz's head, was about how successful the content creators have been in a sneering, calling them grifters kind of way. Even at taking Tugg and his allies at their word, that would have been more thorough to include a full range of his estimated earnings from $4,900 to $79,000 than the crime here, making him look possibly more successful than he really is. Indeed, as of today, Social Blade now estimates the creator has brought in as much as $89,800 in the last month. It seems likely that the increase is a result of the publicly generated boom by Lorenz's piece. No, I would say it's probably because he got mentioned several times during the Johnny Depp trial itself. That's probably more likely. Just saying. I doubt this stupid article by Taylor Lorenz really made a big difference in his life. One might accuse the creators of ginning up this scandal for more clicks and subscriptions. That could be part of it, but I suspect, and this is just my unsourced supposition, I didn't talk to either of them, that it's more than that. It isn't enough to have a national media writing about their YouTube channels and holding them up as an example of the future of media. What seems to have offended the vloggers, again, vloggers, well, hey, Mr. Blogger, why are you writing this piece? Did you get any attention from it on Twitter? Did this trend a couple days ago when you wrote it? Oh, you did? Oh, well, you must be just grifting. Anyway, it seems what seems to have offended the vloggers the most, right from the beginning, was not the false no-comment boilerplate, but Lorenz's insinuation that at heart they were doing it all for the money, that they did not believe deep down in Depp's innocence and Heard's guilt. It was the Post's refusal to herald them not just as its competition, but its peers, if not its betters. In the end, whether it's estranged ex-spouses or media rivals, we all just want to be loved. Yep, well, I'm pretty sure you've gotten some attention from this. So, all right, I've gone way over time, and so I got to call it a day. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I might live stream the hearing tonight just for the shits and grins. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. That's it. I got to close it down. Subscribe and like and share and put a comment in the comment section if you're watching on replay. And thank you to our sponsors, Tyler Alexander and Gunfox61. You all are fantastic. And thank you everyone participating in the chat. I gotta go. Thanks. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.